So you haven't talked to Hunter at all?
He isn't answering his page.
Great. Picked a fine time to disappear now, didn't he?
Ridge, be calm.
Calm? Hunter's supposed to prove that Grant shot himself and framed me. Now Grant's taking the stand and Hunter's nowhere to be found. What is that?
Look, he would never abandon the case. I'm just hoping he found a new lead, something to explain that gunshot residue on your hands.
I don't know, Jonathan. Something's off here.
What?
Well, we were hoping it might be Hunter.
You still haven't heard from him?
No.
Come on, Ridge, don't let this be a distraction.
Hunter's not a distraction. He's my whole case. Everything I've got is riding on that theory of his. Now, what if he's changed his mind? What if all of a sudden he's wrong?
Look, you've got to get a grip here. Grant's about to take the stand, and he's going to try to provoke you, make that jury believe that you're out of control. Your job, your only job, is to keep it cool, no matter what he says or does, no matter what goes on in that courtroom. Now, is that clear?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go and try and track down Hunter. Now, remember, your case isn't riding on him. It's riding on you.
But if you ask me whether he could pick up a loaded gun and shoot an unarmed man in cold blood, the answer is no. Never in a million years. And you don't think Thorne heard our case?
Whatever impact he had on the jury will be completely negated by your testimony.
When I tell them that I saw Ridge shoot me.
Exactly.
Grant, are you okay?
Yeah, I just keep thinking that if Ridge had only tried to meet me halfway, then maybe it wouldn't have come to this.
Well, I'm afraid it's too late for that.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I got to put an end to this thing, and this is the only way.
Hello.
Maggie, what are you doing here?
Looking after my forgetful husband.
Oh, no, I didn't.
You did.
Thank you. You know, I don't know what's got into me lately.
Yeah, you do seem a little preoccupied. Is anything wrong?
No, I suppose it's probably just this very heavy workload that I have. You're very sweet to bring that here for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. I was headed out anyway.
Oh, well, you're off to see your friend Curtis, are you?
Maggie and the plumber went on a date to the Cafe Ruth.
Mm-hmm. Pretty mind-boggling, isn't it?
I'll say. Like Hee-Haw does Romeo and Juliet. How'd you swing that one?
I didn't have anything to do with it.
Oh, come on.
No, really. Really, that's what makes this so perfect. It's happening because it was meant to happen, Mike. Maggie belongs with someone like Curtis. And James, well, he belongs with me. And they're both starting to realize that.
Couple of country bumpkins at the Cafe Ruse. I just can't picture it.
Oh, it's one of those things you had to be there to believe it.
Hey, it's too bad the good doc didn't get an eyeful of that, huh?
Oh, well. What makes you think he didn't?
You sneaky little thing. You took him there, didn't you?
Oh, he had to eat somewhere.
Did he go ballistic? Cause a scene?
No, nothing like that.
Well, what happened?
Well, he got really quiet, and then we just sat and talked about it for a while.
Yeah, and then?
And then we left.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, I get it. He waited until she got home, and then he let her have it, huh?
No, actually, Maggie doesn't even know that James saw her.
What's with this guy? His wife's getting it on with the plumber. He doesn't even care?
Of course he cares, Mike. But you've got to understand. I mean, James isn't the kind of guy that's going to fight the inevitable. He's too intelligent for that.
And Maggie and Curtis are inevitable?
Well, Maggie may not end up with Curtis, but she's going to end up with somebody like Curtis. It's what she needs. You know, a man that's simple, ordinary, uncomplicated. One that can give her a life that she's used to, a life that she's comfortable with. I wish you could have seen them, really. I mean, that they were laughing, that they were relaxed. And Maggie's never like that around James.
Well, yeah, that's because whenever she's around him, she's around you.
I'm not the problem.
No, right. Of course you're not.
But the problem is Maggie and James. They simply don't fit. James, he's finally starting to accept that. You mark my words, the other night is the beginning of the end.
Okay, when's the end of the end?
I know when that is exactly. You know, I've gone over that 1,000 times in my mind. And that's when the doctor lays my baby in my arms. And James is there. And he looks at our child with so much pride and wonder. And then our eyes meet, and he knows. And that's when he knows that the three of us belong together. And that's something that neither one of us have ever had before, you know, a real family. And he won't be able to resist it. He won't want to resist it. And from that moment on, we'll be together. The way we were meant to be.
So that's all the questions you're going to ask me about the shooting.
Well, I may ask you some questions about your relationship to Ridge.
Well, then we should go over them.
No, I don't want your answers to sound rehearsed, especially since we know the defense plans to accuse you of lying.
Okay. Then how should I handle Young?
Well, listen to his questions. Make sure you understand what he's asking you. Don't answer anything too quickly. And don't give him more than he asks you. Now, when you're responding to questions, he'll have a tendency to try and draw your attention toward him. But it's better to address the jury directly. Now, aside from that, all you have to do is tell the truth.
Yeah, just tell the truth.
Do you have any more questions?
No.
Then I'll see you in court.
Yes. Well, Teresa, thank you so much for coming by.
You're more than welcome.
I'll see you.
Grant, can I ask you something?
Sure.
I'm not really sure how to put this, but...
Mommy,
Yes?
who was that lady?
It still bothers you, doesn't it?
What?
Curtis and me being friends?
Maggie, the only reason I mentioned it was
Is that why
because-
you've been so quiet lately? Yeah, ever since Curtis and I went out to dinner. Obviously, it really upsets you.
It does not upset me. I'm happy that you found a friend. I'm actually very glad that you have somebody that you're comfortable with.
You are?
Yes, I am, really.
Thank you. We did have a pretty good time.
Yes, I know.
Oh, you could tell from my good mood, huh? Yeah, Curtis has that effect on me. He's really a good man. You'll never guess where we went for dinner.
I don't have to guess where you went. I saw you.
You saw me?
Yes. I was there at the Café Russe.
What were you doing there?
Oh, Sheila and I went there. She wanted to have some
Sheila
of their...
brought you there? How did she know that I'd be there?
She didn't know that. It was only coincidence.
Oh, no, there's no such thing with that woman. Oh, of course. It all makes perfect sense now. You being so quiet and her with that stupid smirk on her face. Oh, my God, she's trying to make you think I'm having an affair.
No, she's not.
You're defending her?
Maggie, Sheila never once implied that you and Curtis were involved. And even if she did, I wouldn't believe her.
Then why didn't you tell me before that you saw me? Or why didn't you come over to the table? Because she's gotten to you, hasn't she? Admit it.
That is not true.
No, it is true, James. And the fact that you won't admit it makes it even worse. I am so sick of this. I'm so sick of her constantly coming between us and me being on my guard all the time. I'm sick of living with this constant anger. I keep thinking that you're going to find a way to stop her, but you never do. And I can't take it anymore. So fine. Fine, if you're not going to do anything about it, then I will.
Maggie!
Who was that lady?
Her name is Teresa Emerson. She's a lawyer. A prosecutor.
What's a prosecutor?
Well, Bridget, a prosecutor is a special kind of lawyer.
The kind who puts people away for the rest of their lives.
Why don't you two guys just come with me for a second, please? Well, things have been pretty confusing around here, haven't they? Well, I want to say that I'm sorry. I mean, here we are, this brand new family, and we haven't done any of the fun things that families do together. So I was thinking that when your mother and I take care of a few things, that we could all plan a trip, the four of us. We can rent one of those campers that you drive, and you guys can run around in it while we drive, and we can go to Yosemite, we can go to SeaWorld, Disneyland, wherever you want to go. I mean, doesn't that sound like fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Rick? I don't know, whatever.
Well, listen, if you come up with something better, fine. It doesn't matter. Just as long as whatever we do it as a family, together. I think we could use that. Now, I know that I haven't been here very long. And maybe you both aren't sure of me. But I want you both to know that I'm always going to be here for the long haul. And Bridget, I would do anything for you. And Rick, that goes for you. I never want you to be afraid or worried as long as I'm here.
Great.
Can we go now, Mom? Come on, Budge.
That was very sweet, what you said.
Well, I meant it, Brooke. You and the kids. I mean, you're the reason I do everything now. Sweetheart, what was it you wanted to ask me?
Maybe I shouldn't even ask you this.
Well, Brooke, you don't have to hide anything from me.
The same goes for you, too. You know that, right?
Well, sure I do.
Really? Because lately I just get this feeling.
What?
Whenever you talk about the shooting, Grant, if there's anything else, if there's something that you're not telling me...
Brooke, what?
Look, I wouldn't even ask you this. I just see that you're really troubled lately.
Well, I am. I mean, I'm not enjoying helping send a man to prison. I'm taking him away from his family and his career. But I don't have any other choice. What Ridge did to me is unforgivable. Now, unless he goes to prison, there is no other way that I know to make sure that he never does that to me again. Now, I'm not happy about this, but there is just no other way.
Did you find Hunter? I don't believe this.
We still have some time to come up with that evidence.
A few days, maybe, that's all.
Ridge, right now you need to focus on Grant.
Felicia's right. What happens today could make or break this case.
Are you ready for him?
Question is, are you?
Oh, yeah. Bring him on.
What are you doing? I was just working a little bit on
That's
the
mine. I want you to stay out of my things. I want you to stay out of my marriage and out of my life.
This doesn't have anything to do with needlepoint.
No, it
does
doesn't, Sheila. I'm talking about you spying on me and manipulating my husband to make him think I'm having an affair.
Oh, come on, Maggie. Where's this coming from?
I'll tell you where it's coming from. The Cafe Russe.
Oh.
How'd you know I was there?
I didn't.
Did you have the phone tapped? Did you have me followed?
You know, you're really acting ridiculous. And you're acting guilty.
Guilty? Sheila, I'm not having an affair with Curtis, and you damn well know it.
Well, then you have no reason to be so upset, do you?
Don't play games with me anymore. I'm on to you, and it stops right here. I don't want you to talk to my husband anymore. You got that? I don't want you to look at him. I don't want you to make hand signals. You are not to communicate with him in any way.
It's going to be a little tough seeing that we live under the same roof.
Not anymore.
What?
You heard me.
You can't just throw me out.
I can't.
What about the baby?
The baby is fine. You're fine. The only thing that's suffering here is my marriage, and I've had it. Now get out!
Miss Emerson, call your next witness.
We call Grant Chambers to the stand.
Grant Chambers.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Mr. Chambers?
I do.